All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art. Hopefully, I got everything straightened out. I'm not for sure. Hope everybody can hear me. Looks like audio should be good. All right, and hopefully no power outages, because of our heaters and how cold it's been. Occasionally, it's only happened once today. It'll trip like our circuit breaker, and everything in this room plus my son's room will completely go out. But my son is right now in the living room, so he is supposed to be babysitting Whiskey. Whiskey's right here. He's pushing open my door, so little puppy's in here. And I can hear him, my son in there. He's got, hey, Ethan, the TV's a little bit too loud. I can like hear his TV in there, so I don't want it to bother you guys. But anyways, we are doing number 2, or at least, hold on. We get, Whiskey comes in here, my little puppy dog, and he just wants to go through my trash. So let me move this. I put it down so that way I can actually use it if I need it, but it looks like I can't. Now that just didn't interest him, and he just left. So anyways, we are working on part 2 of the oranges and the leaves color pencil piece. So that is what we're going to be doing. It has definitely been a cold. I'm going to shut that door real quick. I don't want to shut it all the way. He can still get in. But that's what we're going to be doing. Patreon, I was going to go ahead, and as you can see back behind me, there's like this shamrock. You can see some little shamrocks back there. Or actually, they're like little clovers, like a St. Patrick's kind of theme oval canvas back there, acrylic painting. I was going to do that for like showing you guys the background. It was supposed to be done today, but everything's been pushed behind because of the weather. And me taking the puppy dog out a lot more. It's been freezing cold, and it's been rough over here. But that one, I was going to show you guys how to do the background on that, but I've been kind of second guessing myself on whether or not I should teach you guys something maybe more helpful as far as like, I don't know. I've been working on a little bunny too also, and in acrylic, and I was doing like little fur and stuff like that, and I was like thinking, what if I just showed you guys how to do fur with our acrylic paint? So I may end up doing like not even a full painting or anything like that, but just demonstrating how to paint and get fur on maybe like, I think I got some canvas paper actually that I could probably do a little demonstration on, and just kind of put that in to the Patreon so that way you guys can learn like maybe a little technique. But anyways, let me go ahead and turn this around so that way you guys can see where we're at. I didn't take the glassine off of my oranges. Been definitely running behind. So let's go ahead and turn this around. All right. As you can see, we are Cricut. It doesn't look too bad as far as the lighting. Last time we had a really bad glare. I wonder if it's just this light in general. I wonder if it happens if I turn it off. And, you know, I probably can't see. That's probably what's going to happen. I'll be like, I can't see nothing. Let's see how dark. Oh, really dark for me. Actually looks more in color better, but I cannot see. So that's not going to work. And if I turn on my big light, then it ends up being shiny and you won't be able to see it too well. But anyways, all right, so what we're going to be doing is the leaves. And this is just, if you're new to this channel, definitely I would love for you guys to subscribe. So just click the little subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely leave likes. That definitely helps boost this channel and help it grow. But on these live streams, I basically do like an art piece. Like I'll do like a certain medium, whether or not it's color pencil or acrylic, soft pastel, ink, just anything. I usually do live streams and I'm working on something, but I can work on it in real time. So that way you guys can see exactly what I'm doing in real time, and maybe it might help you guys a little bit better. Now they are 2 hours long. I do like to chat, so that's why it's a live stream art chat, is because sometimes besides working on something and looking at your questions, if you have questions, please ask them. I will be able to answer them and maybe help you out. You can say, hey, you know, there's something that I missed. Maybe you might need help with it. I can answer those questions. But as far as like me talking and chatting, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe talk about my day, maybe talk about, you know, I'll still talk about the artwork and what I'm doing. It's just, I don't know what you are thinking at the time. So if you do have those questions or you don't understand something, please, let me turn this. Please ask me, and I will try and help you the best that I possibly can with those questions, especially for this medium or other mediums maybe you're doing. If you have a question on those, maybe I might be able to help you too. So this is just a art chat, have fun, do some artwork, and learn basically off of what I do from start to finish. So we're going to do the leaves. I'm going to take this. I got another sheet of paper that I cut off of here. And the reason why I chose an 8x10 is because the matting, and I'll show that to you guys. Hold on one second. I went ahead and measured out for a matting that I had. It's just a little cheapy matting, but I usually call them throwaway mattings because if a person buys it, sometimes they might want to keep the matting the way it is, or they want to go ahead and have their own done, and then they can just throw this one away. So it is totally up to them. But when this matting goes on, it just fits right into it perfectly, and that way I can put this one up for sale. So that's why I chose the size that I did, and I had to cut off any excess edges to make sure that fits. I actually got working on that little bunny over there in our acrylic and got really carried away. My son was coming downstairs. He was like, Mom, he goes, you're not, you know, you have a live stream. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to stop working on this little guy. He's an acrylic bunny, but I really wanted to get him out and get him done so that way I can post him for sale. And maybe somebody might want him for either they just love bunnies and flowers and little clovers that's going to be in it and be perfect for either St. Patrick's or Easter. Wanted to go both so that way you can have it up for longer. Or if you just like bunnies in general, it can be all year round. So it's one of those. But let's go ahead and get the colors out that we are needing for the leaves. I'm going to go ahead and open up my pictures here. And I don't know why it takes away. I did have the oranges up for you guys to see. And let me see if I can't put that back for you, so you guys can see what I'm talking about whenever I'm showing you the oranges. Where are my oranges? Hold on. I'm getting those for you guys. Oh, it's hard to find them. Okay, and then we'll hit okay. There we go. Now you guys can see. That helps out a little bit better too. So we got the oranges there, and I was like telling you guys too that the oranges to me on the green leaves, because I got this from Pixabay. So this reference photo is from Pixabay, and I noticed that leaves, I don't think the leaves should be that green. Like, it just looks a little bit abnormal green, almost as if they amped up some of the colors in the picture to get it that green. Like, it almost looks, I don't know, just looks a little bit almost fake looking just because of the colors. It could be just me. Maybe it's the room that it's in or how they did it, but it looks to me like they did some photo editing on that picture in order to get the greens to kind of stand out. And don't get me wrong, it is a gorgeous picture. But I don't think I want to go that green with it. We can go a little bit that green, but using the brown paper, it might just tone it down a little bit anyways. But I'm just going to try to tone those greens down just a tad. Let's see what we got. Now I'm going in here and I'm going to reach for my Caran d'Ache pencils. Let's see. Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. They usually got a lot of greens in there. Plus that, if you're working with odorless mineral spirits, they're a little bit more easier to blend also. Here's the type of green that it is. And see, I can't read 220 like grass green. That looks way too green. But let me go ahead and get some of these other colors out. And we're going to make a color chart. I always try and say swatch, but I had trouble saying that name. And somebody told me that I was saying it wrong and was trying to help me. I know that they were trying to help me so bad to try and pronunciate it. And every time I tried, I couldn't say it right. I mean, I literally tried so hard to say that. For some reason, it just won't come out of my mouth. Right. If I am saying it right, then yay. But I don't know if I am or not. Like, I can't pronunciate. So I started saying color chart with my pencils instead of color swatch. I don't know. Maybe I should say it's a color squatch. That way it'd be like Sasquatch. Since I got a bunch of those little Sasquatches over there. See? I like Sasquatch, by the way. I even have a stuffed animal Sasquatch, which is completely adorable. I had to get him. I forgot where I got him from, too. But I was like, whenever I was on the road and I was traveling, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a stuffed animal Sasquatch. I have to get him. So I got him. All right, and then I use white to write out my numbers. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to write out numbers on these because my eyesight is horrible. They said I was going to, the doctor told me that I needed to wear bifocals, and then he gave me contacts and said he could give me the contacts with the bifocal in them. But since I have two different eyesights, he ended up giving me one bifocal in one eye, and then another one not a bifocal. And my eyesight is just messed up. And if he did the bifocals, then if I were to wear glasses, I would have to wear bifocals. And the reason why he did the contacts with the bifocal in them is because I didn't have to buy readers to go with my contacts. So, but I don't know. I almost started to tell him, like, it's okay, I'll just wear readers. I don't mind wearing readers with my contacts, but he gave me the bifocal contacts instead. So I don't know. My eyes are pretty messed up. And then he said, congratulations, you're getting old. That's what he told me. I'm like, thank you. You're so kind. I don't know. I think the doctor was like the same age as me. I don't know. The doctor was probably older than me. So, I don't know. He could have been the same age as me. All right. So here we go. And I made out my little greens color chart here. So that way I can kind of see what greens I have. Now, I don't think I really need anything else except for there is some highlights. I really like this green. This is that 212 one. That's like the first one. That is called, I'm going to try for you guys really hard to try and read it. Forget it. Something green. They put like a name on there that is seriously like 14 letters long. Like I even if I could read it, I can't read it. And I need to like Karen Dosh needs to come up with some reader friendly names. Like don't go over a certain amount of letters. Okay, so anyways, and we also don't have this little guy done. I didn't get him completely done. That's our peeled orange. So I guess since we got our colors out, let's just go ahead and do that. If you guys are new and you're just joining in and maybe you didn't see last week's live, we could do that. Shouldn't take too long. Now, also, I want to let you guys know, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to do these leaves and that's all she's really going to do the whole entire time. No, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm going to end up doing the leaves. You know, why am I so blind today? I was in here painting the whole time and I've been fine. And for some reason my eyesight is like gone. Okay, I know this is like more of my peach. Tangerine. It just says orange. Go figure. Maybe this is it. My tangerine. No, apricot. Apricot I like to use on it. Let me take out all my oranges just to make sure. And then some cream. And of course white. Okay, let me see. It's crazy my eyesight today. I apologize. Okay, we want the light orange. I don't know if we want to put any. Yeah, we might want to put a little bit of a darker orange. We'll keep these two out too. And the white. Okay. We go a little blurry. I don't know what it's trying to focus on. Yeah. And it's so crooked. That happens to be this little guy here. That'll be fine, I think. Okay. So I have my little glove here I like to put on, and that's just so that way I don't rub any oils on the skin all over my painting and make it not light fast. If you rub too much of your hand across it, might not turn color, but maybe in the next like 10 or 15 years, 20 years, who knows what, you may have some color changes on your paper because of the oils of your skin. It is not. Is this my apricot? This is orange. Where'd it go? I think I lost a pencil already. Geez, am I having one of those days or what? Huh. Did not put it back. Oh, it's right here. I am having one of those days. Oh, we also got this little guy. I forgot about that one in the back. I could have done this one. Now with this, I like to kind of go in the same direction as I see in the reference photo. So I'm kind of making these little marks in here. And these lines, and especially kind of arch them. If you arch them a little bit in the center, and then as you come around, make them smaller on either end, then it gives kind of this rolling kind of effect. It gives it more of a roundness. And I actually could do that to this one a little bit more because I did use odorless mineral spirits on it. So we want to create a little bit of dimension in here. Let me get, ooh, my elbow, holy cow. Now I've been having some trouble with that too. I'm like falling apart. Okay. Been having trouble with my elbow. It almost feels like right in here, like right on your bone, like right in here. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Like if I try and bend my elbow out, it'll hurt so bad. And I have no clue why it's acting that way. It's never done that before. I know some people would be like, well, go see a doctor. I'm like, yeah, it's too many quacks around here. I don't know. Keep on saying that because they'll usually just be like, oh, welcome to being old. Or maybe you should just work your elbow out a little bit more or something. Who knows? They'll say something that just doesn't help me. Or here, take a medicine. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at doing that. They say, here's some medicine, and I'm like, yep, I'm not taking it. I don't, very rarely do I ever take anything. I have usually Tylenol, and I'll take it. And I ran out, so I don't have any Tylenol. Plus that, I don't think that would help for that. I only take it for like headaches. Really bad. I don't know what's wrong with my elbow. I really don't. Let's see if we don't use like a darker orange in here. Really wanted to make that a little darker. Some areas that maybe I want to throw in. A little bit of a darker shade in there. Let's take my lighter orange here, my apricot. I knew it was a fruit. Just wanting to call it a tangerine. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and blend this out with some odorless mineral spirits. And I'm not going to blend it out like in circles trying to blend it out. I'm just going to blend it out going in the direction of the orange and just kind of smooth out some of those rough, kind of like those, to make it a little bit more smoother and seeing those greeny lines from the color pencil. If you see something that you really do like in your color pencil and you're like, I don't really want to touch it because it looks really good. No, you don't have to blend it out. You just blend out the areas that you want to be smoothed down. And maybe it'll be minor. Like me, this here is just a minor little blend. It's not something that I'm really want to blend too much. Just a little bit. I'll let that dry. And while that dries, we'll go ahead and instead of working on the apricot over here, we're going to end up working on the leaves. So I'm going to kind of jump back and forth, which I'm always so good at doing. Not for sure if it's the greatest thing, but I do enjoy jumping back and forth. Hopefully I can get to those pencils. No, what's wrong with my elbow? Oh, it's so aggravating. All right, so let's go ahead and get out. I have two dark greens here, and I'm wanting to put in my shadow. So I can go with a 739 or 719. And the darkest of the greens is probably the 739. I don't know, the 719 is really pretty though too. So either one. This is 719. I don't think I'm going to use that one. I think I'm going to use 739. I want to use it, but I want to use it in other areas. 739. Yeah, looks like it needs to be sharpened. Ow. My poor elbow. Maybe I need to move my pencil sharpener a little bit closer so I don't have to reach for it so far. There we go. I am just full of it today, aren't I? Sorry about that, you guys. And I've got a shadow going on. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to kind of take this shadow on. I'm probably going to go just to this side. I'm not really going to look entirely to the reference photo on this because their light source, it's kind of similar to my light source too, but still, I think they have a little bit more light than theirs. So I'm going to make that dark green in there. And then after the dark green, we are going to take another color. We're going to go a little bit lighter. So I really don't want to go that way because if I went that way, just look, that grass green just looks way too green, like unrealistic green. Let's go with 225 or 212. I mean, if I had to, maybe we could mix the colors, which is always a good thing to do, mixing colors if we needed. So there's that. It's got a little bit of a highlight on top of the stem, so I definitely want to add a little bit of this color, that 212, which is, who knows if I could read this one for you. Chronic Unknown Green. It's the hard one. Put a little bit of white on top. Okay. We're going to go, I can stick that one all the way up there. Jeez. Okay, or maybe we'll stick some down here. Just a little bit of green in here. And then we want to get on the other side, add some greens, and then let's put in the white. Okay, if we need to add another white to the outside edge of this, we can. That'll give it a little bit of a highlight. So as you can see there, I used 3 colors. I used my dark, I used a lighter green, and then I used a white on top for the highlight. I usually like to go with 3s. I like to have a dark, a neutral kind of color where it can still go darker or it can still go lighter, and then a highlight, or at least a lighter color. I can do the 3 if you want to toss in the 4 and do 4 colors instead of dark, like a medium color, a light color. Those are the 3. Or you can do dark, medium, light, and a white. So for instance, I used a dark color green. I used a kind of like a lighter green. And then I used a white for a highlight. So those are usually 3s. If you want to go 4s, you could do dark green. You can do a light green. And you can do like a medium tone green. So like that. And then you can add last white for highlight. So, I mean, you can do either which way, but I usually would like to go with more than just two colors. That adds a little bit of depth to your drawing. So let's do this again. We're gonna, I don't know, this one here doesn't really have much of a, it's kind of awkward here. It's like gutter of light to either side of it, but I want to take it a little bit darker. What do we have? Trying to eyeball this leaf. Let's take a lighter green. I'm gonna kind of sketch this out a little bit. Woo! Because I didn't do such a good job of sketching. It's gonna be a thinner leaf. I don't really want to make it any bigger, so that way it can fit into my matting just right. Actually make this just a little bit wider. Let's try and add some different greens in here. We can throw in some of this darker green. There's some darker green in here too. Let's go back to our light greens or some other greens. We're just going to kind of throw them in. Let's take our this here white that I'm using is a polychromos white. I'm using it because it's got a sharper point on it. Okay. Let's see if there's anything maybe. Oh, I want my dark green. Let's try and get this a little bit darker. We can try mixing in our grass green, but I wouldn't put it everywhere. Definitely has to be a mixture. Okay. Yeah, that ain't too bad. Let's go ahead and blend this out with the odorless mineral spirits just to kind of get some of that gritty down. And if we need to add another layer to it, we can. Definitely want to blend out some of these colors just a little bit. This smaller area, I would just leave it. But if you're working with a bigger area, then definitely I would like to add another layer to this and kind of get these colors kind of really blending together really nicely. And I really like the way this looks. So now we're going to go ahead and leave this green leaf to dry for right now. And actually we could, I just now noticed it. There's my, see this purple that we were using? This one here is the Derwent Light Fast. And this one here is the Nightshade, which is like a purple color. This one is really nice. You can add this to your greens too. So you can put some of the purple in there if you're wanting to make it like super dark. Like any dark area that you wanted to go darker with, I would definitely use the Carandash Luminance Nightshade. Or no, sorry, not that. Derwent Light Fast Nightshade. Whew. Don't know why that was difficult. It's been one of those days, you guys. Definitely one of those days. All right, so now let's go ahead and add a second layer to our orange here. Here, I can't reach for my pencils, so I'm looking a little stiff. Maybe it's because I kept my arm bent for so long today. I don't know. I didn't think I did. I mean, I was painting on my little bunny over there, but I don't know if I kept my arm bent for that long. Just trying to add some of these creams back in, but then I'm also going to add some whites back in. And I'm using the Derwent Chinese White. I really love this pencil. Like, when your pencils don't want to layer, or if you're having trouble with some of your pencils, trying to get some more like your whites in there, especially if you use like your polychromos and you're trying to use it and the white's not showing up. So then you go over to your Derwent Luminance. Am I saying that backwards? Your Derwent Light Fast, and you use your white, doesn't work. And then you go over to your polychromos, it doesn't work. And then you go over to your Carandash Luminance, and it doesn't work. Usually this white pencil here, it's the oh my god, I'm so horrible today. Derwent Drawing Chinese White. Usually this one will work. If it doesn't, then maybe you might need to take your little eraser here, like, and just erase some of the pigment off of the paper so you're able to put a white in there. So let's just do that. So like, let's just say I want to add this as a white in here, and it just, you know, there's too much pigment on here. You can take it, erase some of the pencil off, and then you can come back in and add some more white if you need to. Especially if you're wanting it like really white. Like, I want to add a little bit more white in here. Maybe in two places in here. So we want to take this white and just kind of make those little areas a little bit brighter. Just like that. And you can add your white back in. So this is what you need to do in case you can't layer in any more white. I don't think there's any really bright white stuff. Nah. So I'm gonna make some little lines in here. We can put some oranges. A little bit more of a richer orange, maybe. So it looks pretty good. Looks like a nice peeled orange. And you can always go over here and you can do the same thing. Doing the same thing with this here behind it for the peeled orange. All right. Also on YouTube, I'm thinking about doing a, because I know somebody had asked me about kind of like a beginners for the pit artist pins, like doing like some sort of like YouTube for beginners, like tips for beginners doing a pit artist pin. And I'd like to be able to try and do maybe something that'll help you guys out. And usually, like the strawberry that I did, it's just about like blending and how to lighten things and kind of like a technique. I mean, everything's got certain processes you got to do, whether or not, you know, you start out with your darker colors or you start out with your lighter colors first and how you layer. So I'm going to do something with the pit artist pins coming here soon, and it'll be like a short video. I'm not for sure if I'm actually going to do a whole piece or anything, like an actual thing. I thought I picked something out though for you guys. But I was trying to figure out what I could do to kind of help you guys in beginning. And it's not about creating an actual piece, but maybe we'll do something. I've got an idea. It's just I haven't planned it completely out just yet. Let's do this really dark leaf here. This one here is like in the shadows and it is super dark. I think there's just a couple little lines you can see. And I do like that leaf, even though they probably photo edit it. It's fine. I like it still. So we're going to go with our light green. And I'm going to go right around the edge. And I am kind of pressing, oop, here we go. I went off track. And I was pressing down a little bit harder than I would normally press, just to kind of get that line on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my white and go right over the top of that green. I'm going to do the same thing with the light green. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to go right over the top of it. Really want to tone that down just a tad. Okay. So now we got a leaf that's kind of glowing on the edges. It looks like right in here it's got a little bit of the stem center kind of highlighted there too, just a little bit. Let's use the polychromos. Go on top. Okay. I didn't take that all the way to the edge. I really need to. Hold on. Let's take that all the way to the edge. Here we go. And then I'm going to take a dark green and we are going to go right underneath of it. Yeah, we're going to go right above it. Might want to add a little bit of a green there, a little bit of white. It's going to be more of a digit right there. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and make this dark. I don't think there was really any of the leaf that you could see except for possibly a little bit of shading in here. It ain't going to be much though. So we'll just put a little bit of that lighter green maybe in here. It's not going to be much. I mean, I'm probably most likely it'll be covered up. We'll just see. All right, now let's go ahead and take our darker greens. Now this is where I want to go in circles. I am going in a little bit bigger circles than normal. And the reason why I do that is because I am a very impatient. I'm impatient. You know, there's some people who can go in little tiny circles. My circles are larger than their circles. At least I think they are. You know, you never know. They could have had theirs magnetized on their video cam. Plus that, these Caran d'Ache luminants really do blend out super nicely. As long as you got enough pigment on the paper, then blending with odorless mineral spirits really makes it nice and smooth. I don't usually have too much of an issue with things not blending or looking gritty, grainy. And especially this Canson Me Tints pastel paper that I'm using. I use the back side, which is the smooth side, and I haven't had no issues. It blends pretty good. Now, as far as like taking 100 million layers, yeah, it's not going to take 100 million layers like some of the other papers that do, but I really don't need that many layers, like as, you know, that many. If it was something that I needed that many layers on, then yeah, I would probably go to something different. Like if I needed that many layers, I would probably, and the most layers that I could get on a piece of paper was the, what is that called? It's the archival sanded paper. I forgot what it was called. Hold on. Oh, it's the Lux archival sanded paper. Now that can hold a lot of layers. I don't need that many layers. Like, plus that I really didn't feel like using it to where it like it ate a lot of my color pencils up. And I know a lot of artists say, well, even though it's eaten up a lot of your pencils, it's actually putting a lot more layering down or a lot more pigment down than it would be, you know, if you were to do those many layers without it. I don't know. I don't have no issues. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to waste my pencils. I am really at the, you know, where I'm just not into wasting my materials. I need to save my materials. So here is that purple that I was talking about, that nightshade from the Derwent Light Fast. And I'm going to stick some in here and make this super dark. I'm also going to stick some in here. So I'm basically blending a lot of colors here before I actually use my odorless mineral spirits. So I'm actually putting enough layering down, but also when I blend this all out, it's going to come together really nicely. So there we got our layers down. I probably can blend it now, or I can. Thinking too much of my elbow. I'm like, I can probably bend my elbow now. Okay, I'm going to make sure to wipe this down so I don't have it completely drenched. And I'm just going to blend this to where going all the way up to the top, but I'm not trying to smear it. I want to kind of keep these colors separated. So I'll blend this in circles here, it'll be fine. But up towards the top, I don't want to smear that into my lighter green that's up there. because it will make a mess and I don't want to do that. So I cleaned off my brush with the odorless mineral spirits, and see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take the tip of my brush and just kind of go over the top of it, except for that area. That way I'm not like crossing over with a bunch of like purple or the nightshade dark purple into it and making a mess. Let's go ahead and blend this. Now I'm not pushing down really hard or anything. Okay. Oh, my eyes are burning. Like, change my contacts out. It's just, for some reason, I don't know, unless I got dust in my eye. I could have done that. I'm not really going to worry too much about this here because I'm going to make a really dark shadow underneath of the leaf kind of coming out. So not really worried too much about it. But there's our darker leaf and those colors look gorgeous. Love the colors of the leaves. This one here should be dry. So we can come in here and just add some more, another layer. What did I do with my sharpener? Don't remember hitting my elbow on anything either. Okay, so let's just take this darker green. Stick some of those colors back in. Maybe some of the lighter green in here. Looks good. Oh, let me take some of that lighter green and just get that back in. And if you're wanting to take any of your white, she looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I want to do too much more to it. Looks really pretty. So I'm going to kind of keep that leaf the way it is. If I need to add any kind of like shadow to that leaf, I could end up doing that, but right now I just don't see it. Oh, I just now noticed what I did. I wonder if everybody's seen that. There's a piece of the leaf right here where I didn't add it in. So, and I was thinking that I didn't draw the leaf really big. Well, I actually drew it out here and I totally missed it. So, if that happens, which I have a piece of the orange missing, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We are going to fill in our orange some more. So let's go ahead and this is a really darker and like shadowy area of the orange. So hope that's my darker orange, is it? No. Go this way. I'm just going to lightly fill this in right to this area. Then I'm going to take Where's my sepia? I'm going to take some of my sepia and we're going to put a little bit of it in. And then I'm going to take some of my dark nightshade and we're going to throw this in. Okay. It's my dark orange. Let's throw that in again. Okay. Just take my here and we're just going to blend right around that. Okay. Actually may need to take that down a little bit further. I wonder if I got it anywhere. It'll be fine, I think. Yep. So now we put that leaf together. Now that orange, I went ahead and moved the orange over a little bit more. We could end up taking some more of our purple here. Let me try and make this here a little bit darker. My dark orange. Now you don't want to go over it whenever your paper's wet, but I'm going over the outside edge where I did not put any on. Let's make that a little bit darker. There we go. I'll have to use another layer to add on top of that whenever it gets dry. So things could happen. Now, if you wanted to add some darker areas to your leaf, like I said, you can always put in some of the Derwent Nightshade, just like I did there. Added a little bit more shadow to it. Now we're going to go ahead and move on because I know these two leaves are good, but we're going to have to make another leaf. And I don't know, we can always make the shadow too. What time is it? 7:59 and we're almost, I don't want to do nothing but just stems for you guys all day. Let's go ahead and let's do this one. So I'm going to take the darker green. Let's go ahead and take our lighter green. Lighter green on top. White on top of the lighter green on top. If you want to, you can always add maybe a little bit of lighter green in here. There we go. Hey, we can even throw in some of that nightshade if you want to. Let's go ahead and try and take some of this green in and around this little area. Okay. Looks pretty good. See if I can't throw in maybe a little bit of this phony green. Okay. Looks to be pretty good. So now we just created another little sim. Now I'm not going to blend that out with odorless mineral spirits. It's just way too small and there's no sense in doing that. Now, when you're doing something that you don't want to blend out, usually you'll just go over it, do the whole thing, put as many layers as you can, sharpen your pencil, make sure it's completely sharp, and then when you have that gritty, grainy kind of look, you would have to go over it again with more color pencil. And then once you get toward the end, then you start pushing down. Like if you're good with your blending and you're good with your colors, then you would start pushing down a little bit harder with your color pencil, filling in all those gaps that there is any gaps. And then you get to a point where you're almost burnishing to kind of fill in everything where it's nice and smooth and all your colors are laid down. And it's a little bit longer. To me, it's like a little bit longer of a process to do that. I like using odorless mineral spirits. It just kind of speeds things up a little bit. At least it does for me. Let's go ahead and do this leaf right here. This would be a good one. It's very, actually, I think I covered up one of the stems that go across there. Let me see here. Oops, that's not an eraser, Deborah. Okay, so we got that little stem there, but then we got this one. Can't believe I covered that up. Okay. Let's go ahead and start out with our darker shade. This is going to be really unique because you got a darker shade, but this leaf here, since the light comes down, actually makes this even darker. So we're going to keep it as a dark green, and on the other side we're going to use dark green, but then we're going to use the Derwent Nightshade Purple to make it that much darker on this side where the leaf is giving a shadow off. Does that make sense? I think I actually kind of covered up this leaf too. Boy, I'm a dingbat. I must have been blind that day too. It's all right. Okay, we're gonna come up here. We're gonna add a little something, something. Okay. All right. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and take out my Derwent Nightshade here. I'm gonna sharpen it. I need a finer line. Now I can't sharpen it as sharp as a polychromos, but I can get it a little bit sharp. If you press down too hard, it will break. It is a softer core. Yep. See, already broke that. I don't want to woof it away because if I did that, I may end up pushing down too hard and making a big purple streak on my paper. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and add some green in here around the base. Okay, I'm going to add some white on top of that lighter green, kind of create a little bit of a highlight. Maybe use some darker greens in there, kind of create some sort of shadow. Fine. What do I have? So I have that one. Let's take this lighter green, add it to the top, add a little white for highlight. Let's take our lighter green. I need to sharpen it. That might work. Got a little bit sharpener. Okay, let's go ahead and take our white. Let me sharpen it just a little bit. Same thing with this Derwent drawing. Chinese white here. You can't get it too sharp because it will break. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of that dark green and we're going to put it right in the center of this thing. I'm going to turn that a little bit more of a greenish tone. Green, fake green in there. Ooh, too much of the fake green. That looks horrible. I don't like that green. Sorry, just go on top of it. Where is my... Be fine. You also have this little green nub that kind of sticks out a little bit, so definitely want to stick that in there. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do our next leaf. I can't believe that I went... I went over it with an orange. Go ahead and stick some of our dark green in there. I'm going to stick a little bit of light. Just kind of mixing it up a little bit. Where's our Derwent? Okay, let's stick some of our white. Make it a little bit different. Now, if anybody's having any questions and you guys are seeing this afterward, like you didn't make the live stream, because I know it was pretty hectic with me canceling it kind of last moment with everything going on and off, and the brutal freaking cold and the winter storm happening. I know it affects the live stream big time. But if you guys are after the live stream and you're watching this, still feel free to ask questions as though it's still kind of like a live. Ask those questions and I'll still see your comments. Plus it helps the channel and I'll be able to answer them the best I possibly can. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I think that stem is done. Or not done, but needs to dry. And then we can do another layer. And then we can always go back to this little guy if we wanted to. We like the way he looks, and we don't have to. But you can't really see very well. I'm going to stick some more green in there. Take our lighter greens. I'm just making another layer of doing the same thing. Same thing, except another layer of it. Okay. And then let's take, where's my other darker green? Right here. Now, the second time I blend this, if I already did a blending and I'm blending this again, then I'm going to use less of my odorless mineral spirits to blend. So that way I'm not removing my color pencil off and you're getting to the underneath layer of it. So as you layer with odorless mineral spirits, start using less each time you have to put another layer on. So that way you're not eating through the layer you just put on to get to the bottom layer, because you can literally scrub through it, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep our layers. So here's some of our Derwent Nightshade. Derwent Light, oh my goodness, where'd that accent come from? Derwent Light Fast Nightshade. Don't know where that accent came from. Whew, that was bad. I mean, I already know I probably have an accent to some people because I live in Missouri. I was actually born in Missouri. Born and raised in Missouri. So I probably got a little bit of a accent. Like I said, I'm going to blend these darker colors, but I'm going to keep it away from my lighter colors. I just want to smooth some of this gritty grainy out. Get a nice smooth blending. I don't want to push my darks too much into my lights. I don't mind if I push my lights into my darks. That's fine. Make sure I blend this out. I had to clean off my brush, that way there isn't any of the darks. Some light blending. That looks good. Okay. I hope that noise does not bother you guys. That's my heater. It must have got cold. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and let's just do, since we did the little leaves here, we did these leaves. We'll have to do another layer on this orange. Let me go ahead and do that, because otherwise I'm going to forget. I'm bad at forgetting. I'll be like, oops. Okay, and then let's put, I'm using this sepia for the shadow on the top, where it starts to kind of blend into the darker color. Let's go ahead and put, and the purple, like the Nightshade, is the darkest color, so it makes it really dark. Okay. And then I'll just take whatever's left over on my brush here. I want to blend that out, but I don't want to blend it out with a sopping wet brush. Just enough to, there we go. Get that nice smooth color, but it looks good. So we got that. All right, so now we need to work on a shadow. No, I wish I would have had those little oranges done before working on the shadow, but I didn't. All right, it's okay. All right, let's see here. And so my shadows are going to be dark. Of course they are, but I'm working with a brown paper. And this is what I had in mind. The shadow is going to be brown. I want to stick with browns. We have a brown paper, so kind of wanted it to be more of a brownish color. I don't want to go really to a grays or gray tones on it. I really want to go with brown or maybe even raw umber. It's got a little bit of a greenish tone. Let's pull out some of our browns, or at least some of my browns real quick. Oh, those are too much. Like, there we go. I'm just going to start pulling out some random brown and hopefully end with a brown that's closest to the color of the paper. We'll just see. So let's come over here to our nifty little sheet here. My color chart. My sass squatch. I'm like swatching colors, squatching colors. Watch me end up saying that. Mosquito, I love that you're live shared on Facebook. Oh, awesome. Good deal. Thank you for sharing that too. That definitely helps. Aw. It's been brutally cold over here, and I don't know if you have been missing out on me having my I don't know, memory loss or not talking very good. I don't know. I'm missing up today on my words. My words have been horrible. So that's why I was saying the color chart is now going to be color squatch, like Sasquatch, color squatch. Since I don't know how to talk today. Or ever. I don't know if I do. All right, so we got 037. I'll write that down. We'll put in these colors. Looks more like a highlight, but it's okay if you don't end up getting a color that looks shadowy. Just keep it to the side. It's okay. That's why you do the color charts here. Now, it could probably help that maybe one day it would make it really useful if I just made like a booklet. Well, no, that wouldn't work. Changed my mind about that. Now I just thought of a reason. I was like gonna say, just go ahead and put down all the colors that I got in like the Caran d'Ache and do like a color swatch on all of them. And then do like the Derwent Life Fast and do a color chart, you know, swatch for all of them. But it just came to my conclusion or my thoughts that sometimes I use different color papers and the colors look different on different color papers. So if this brown paper will make them look a little bit darker or a little bit, give it a different tone than it would be if it was used on white paper. They would be a lot brighter. So it'd really throw me off if I did that. But I don't think that'll work now that I think about it. But if you use white paper all the time or a certain color paper all the time, then you could do a color chart in a book and then just look up your browns in that section or that pencil and then be able to pick it out. I just ruined my thought. That's so sad. All right, so now I got some browns here. That looks more of a reddish brown. 557? What is that? It's like what we call Carmen Lake. That's a really nice warm color. That is really, really nice. Then we got the darker color here, 046, which is Castle Earth. I think I want to use this one here, this Carmen Lake. It's like like this reddish tone, but it's a really nice warm color. It's got a really nice color to it. I really like that. And then if I want to get it a little bit lighter of a shadow, what if we mixed, here we can do this. Oops, I'm throwing pencils. Let's do Carmen Lake. And I want to get darker. So, we could use the purple. I don't know if I want to. I really like that reddish color, but we could. Let's try this. And it's always, you know, it could be a good thing too to go ahead and test out your colors. Try them out and see if you like them. You know, your shading. What is this? French gray? I don't want to go gray. Where's my sepia? Hey, little guy. I found him. I don't know if I like sepia though. Maybe it'll go good with Carmen Lake. You never know unless you try it. Really wish I had a brown. This like lighter, but maybe it might mist out just fine. Not enough. Good job. There we go. Probably too much. That adds such a nice shadow to it. I really do like that. So I'm going to go with that. So for our shadow, I'm going to throw that white over there. I'm going to use Carmen Lake. I'm going to use our Derwent Nightshade for the darkest area. And then we're going to use sepia on the outside. Just kind of give it a little bit of a fade. So let's do it. So we got our three colors like I like to do. I like to stick with our threes. Okay. Go ahead and I'm just going to outline right around the leaf with my nightshade, my dark purple. Go all the way around it up to there. Probably going to add a little bit more shadow underneath here. Ouch. Can't bend my arm. No. Okay. So we should have a nice little shadow going on there. Go ahead and take our Carmen Lake. This is going to be a different shadow than what's on the reference photo by far. Making my shadows a little bit more deeper, a little bit more in depth than theirs. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little sepia pencil here. I really need a pencil extender for this little guy. He's getting a little bit too short. Trying to work in circles with him. Okay, I'm going to take my already wetted brush here with odorless mineral spirits, and I'm just going to go around that leaf just right around the edge. And now I'm going to kind of go outward. And just get a nice blend here. Probably not even going to blend out that part. So now we got ourselves a really nice shadow. And I didn't even blend out really any of the sepia, but as you can tell, that sepia really does add that nice glow to the shadow. It transitions from dark to light. So we did Nightshade being our darkest, then we did Carmen Lake, which I really did like because it added a little bit more warmth to it with that nice reddish tone, reddish brownish tone, and the paper is brown. And then we did the sepia, and I like the sepia too because it has that little bit of like purplish kind of cool, like not cool, but well, it's got that tone in it, the purpley tone. So we added some of that to it, and look at the nice transition. Really makes that leaf pop out too. I love it. Let's do it again, but we're going to do it to the back of this orange here where there is a shadow. So I'm not doing everything exactly like the reference photo, but I am kind of adding in some of those colors that I really did love whenever I added in some of those purples to my oranges, and for the shadows and everything, or the shading of the oranges, kind of using those same tones. I'm trying to keep with the same tones. I really don't like introducing too many colors into it. I like to kind of intermix and add a little bit of the colors that I've been using into each thing that's on here. So let's go ahead and take our little eraser because I see a line here that I don't like. I'm going to take my white here with this pencil. And draw that in. That way I can kind of see where my orange is there. I haven't finished that peeled orange. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick with our three colors. I know I drew in kind of like a little area of the shadow, but I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to make your shadow a little bit deeper, maybe. Let me find my little sepia. Where is my nightshade? There it is. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to take my nightshade. I'm going to go in here and just make the deepest shadow, like the darkest. Then we're going to take the Carmen Lake. We're going to go on top of it. And then we're going to go with our sepia, depending on how far we want to come out with that. I think I want to go a little, I'm going to stop being stingy. We need to go out a little bit further with it. So let's take and go out a little further. A little bit further with this nightshade. Okay, and now let's take the sepia and let's go around it. Now I'm not going to go on the other side of the, this with it. I'm actually going to go with the sepia coming out from where the Carmen Lake is, and then we're just going to kind of mosey it on out. And I'm not really going to go, I'm not going to go the other side with it. I'm not going to put the sepia on the back side of it. So now we're going to take our odorless mineral spirits. I did not dip it into the, I didn't dip it anymore. I'm just using whatever was left on my brush and just kind of blending it out. Okay, that looks good to me. Got that nice transition. If I need to, I can always add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more sepia to this. There we go. Shape that out a little bit differently. So now we got a nice little shadow going on there. We need a shadow underneath our oranges. We can do that. Probably be able to see that a little bit better. Let me just take and lightly draw out my orange here. We got a shadow that kind of goes this full length, but I don't want to go that far. Maybe we'll just go to here with it. Probably shouldn't have done that. I'll erase it. Okay. So I'm going to do a shadow on this orange that's not even done yet. But we're having a lot of fun with shadows, so let's keep going. So let's go ahead and throw in our dark nightshade here. This is really going to make this orange pop out, by the way. It's going to look so pretty. Let's go to like right there with it. This is really a dark area, so I definitely want to add just a little bit more of the dark nightshade in this than we did before. Now this here that I shadowed, of course, you know, with the oranges, they were already using the nightshade. So this is going to make it nice. We're just going to go in here and just add some more. More nightshade. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. We'll just go there. We're not going to go any further. I really wouldn't want to get that leaf done before I did it. Okay, so we got this nice little shadow going on here. Okay. Nice. Now we're going to go ahead and take our Carmen Lake. I'm not pushing down extremely hard. I'm just putting in my layers. I'm going in bigger circles than normal. And there's a lot of people who like to go with the little tiny circles. I go in bigger circles. I'm going to go back over it again. Just to make sure I have enough pigment down. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and get our little sepia, which I'm actually going to stick in a little pencil holder, color pencil holder here, because it's getting small and my hands are saying help me. All right. So now I'm going to take my sepia. Ooh, so much better. And I'm going to bring this on out. Now, I'm not going to go in front of this shadow right here because this shadow is going to continue on. So I'm only going out to the edge of it. And then once I work that leaf, I can continue on with the shadow. I'm going to go over it again, like going back over it again with my sepia. So that way I know I got enough of the layer down. Make sure it's nice and rounded too. That should be good. Okay, so now we're ready to blend this out. And it already looks pretty good, but once you blend it out, it looks so much better. Ow, my elbow. I feel like my elbow's like stuck in a bend. It's horrible. All right, so let's go ahead and do the dark area first. And I'm just gonna kind of slowly kind of blend and go around the orange because we don't need to smudge it. We don't need to push any of those colors into what we have there. Now in this area here, we don't mind because I'd already done this area with the nightshade, so not too worried about it. Okay. Rewriting my brush just a little bit. Now we're going to go around the area with the Carmen Lake. Just going to blend that out. And I'm blending the Carmen Lake right in the center to where we're blending it slightly into the sepia. Sepia, Carmen Lake. Here's a really nice blend. Now, I may end up blending a little bit of the sepia, but I want to make sure that I got a clean brush whenever you do that. I'm going to very lightly blend the sepia. I don't want to blend too much, but I do see a little bit of gritty grainy that I want to kind of blend out there. And then go into that Carmen Lake just a little bit there. Ooh, nice. All right, so now we got this really cool shadow coming from the oranges out in the front. We also got the shadow underneath the leaf, and we also have it in the back. Now, any of these areas here where you can kind of see a difference in the color, that could just be because of the oranges or because it is still wet, and you can kind of see where it's wet and where it's not wet. So I would just basically let it dry, and if you see those colors still staying the way it is, then maybe you might need to go back over this area back into it. Or if it ends up blending out and it looks about the same, which it should, there is some orange that I did put in the oranges whenever I blended out. Except for some of this area, I think I just left without the orange, so it should actually match. So I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. So now we can either do another leaf. We could do this big one. How big is that one? We still got a few more minutes. That's a big leaf. That's got like multiple leaves on there. I'm thinking we should do this leaf here. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do another leaf. I'm going to take the sepia off because I don't need it right now, but I will need my Derwent nightshade. Okay. Let me go ahead and sharpen this up and we'll do another leaf. Oh, do you have any, does anybody have any like idea what you guys are wanting to do next week? I mean, this one here will probably be done because I'll just work on it. Because we already did the leaves, we did the oranges. Unless there's something like if you wanted to see me do again, we did the peeled orange. But if there's something that you guys are like a different medium, maybe something that you might need help with, maybe we could do a live stream on that medium, and or if it's that medium or maybe a certain thing besides just that medium that you're needing help with, that we'll do. We might end up doing another poll. I don't know. Oh wait, actually on our poll, I think some people still were voting on it even though it was closed. And I think mixed media was another one that kind of that everybody wanted to see, was the mixed media. So maybe we'll do a mixed media again. Or we did the mixed media and then we did the color pencil and then mixed media one again. I don't know. Oh, I don't want to sharpen in that. Almost sharpened inside of my odorless mineral spirits. What's wrong with me? We'll have to see. What was the things? Maybe it was our acrylic painting. I don't even have, oh, here's my phone. Maybe I can check on here real quick. Hold on. We had something on my phone. Post, let me see. We had color pencil and then people started voting in. For acrylic was 11%. Watercolor was the same as color pencil, and then mixed media was 44%. So it was like a lot of people. Now we did do the chicken one, the lucky chicken. Oh, that's why we did the lucky chicken. And then we moved on to color pencil. So watercolor looks like might be the next live stream. We'll do something in watercolor, and then acrylic painting, which I think that'll be good. And then as far as the pit artist pins, that's just going to be a separate video. It's not going to be a live stream, but I'll do like something to help out beginners with pit artist pins to kind of help them in blending or trying to make that realistic kind of look. I do know that there has been some people who maybe you might not understand, like there is the white in the pit artist pins, and a lot of people think that the white you can't really use very well, or maybe it doesn't work out too well with what they're doing, but that white is so important, like in order to get your blending, to make a color lighter, to get a highlight, to get a sparkle. I mean, there's so many reasons that is a very, very important pit artist pin to have. And I think some people maybe not know how to use it, or maybe it might not work because of the way that you have to layer. So I definitely thinking that should be a good video to be able to do. Okay, and this is going to be super light. It's like a really thick stem too. It's like weird. It's weird. Okay, let me get the white. Go. Put some regular green down and then some darker greens. Let's put some whites in there for a... You know, I am horrible at dropping stuff. Did that really drop on that? Yes. Like bounced off of right there and it bounced off of right there. Jeez, I'm full of it today. I have been dropping so many things. I haven't been dropping my paint and making like this world's biggest mess, like ever. Okay, so we are going to make, let's see here, this leaf. This leaf does not have a center in it that's highlighted like we had before. It's like darker. So we are going to stick that in, I guess, a little darker. So we'll take our little dark green, come up, space it, go like that. Okay. We're going to take our lighter green, right through here, we're going to make a line. It goes up into that area here, just a little one like that. We're going to take white and draw on top of the green, light green. Such. We're going to take our darker green and we are going to kind of shade underneath that lighter just a little bit. We're not going to go all the way to the edge here, or like to the inside. Okay. I'm just going to kind of give a little bit of a darker shadow just here and there to this leaf. Okay. We're going to do the same thing to this side. We're just going to add in some of our darker tones, maybe right in there. Okay, then we're going to take our lighter green here and we're just going to go in, kind of fill in the rest. I think I can get this done. We got 10 minutes. I don't know. And we may have to do another layer on this, and I don't know if I can get my other layer done because we would have to wait for the odorless mineral spirits to dry. But it's okay. You would just have to layer the same way you did before. I think I either hear my daughter or I hear my hamster, Pebbles. Little Pebbles was being silly today. She was trying to eat some seeds that I gave her, and like a big seeds, and she was like bent over the top of it trying to reach underneath to get the little seeds, and she fell over head first, didn't let go of the seeds, and landed on her back when she fell over, and she stayed on her back holding on to the seeds and moving all her legs in the air but didn't flip over. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, she just made me giggle so hard. I was like, wow. My hamster's like the brightest. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of white just right here on this edge. Maybe it'll kind of lighten it out just a little bit too. So I put a little bit of white in there. Okay, and then maybe even in here just a little bit. Okay, we'll do that. I'll need to add some more of our greens just to make sure I got enough pigment in there before I start blending. You don't want to blend and not have enough pigment down on your paper, because if you do that and you blend, you're still going to have that gritty, grainy look, and you're not going to get a smooth blending whatsoever. So you want to make sure you definitely have enough pigment down on your paper. If you don't have enough on your paper and you do blend and you find out that it's still gritty, grainy, and you're needing more pigment down, it's not the end of the world. Just let it dry, and then you'll just have to go over it again. And then that time, on the second time you have to go over it again, then make sure that you add enough pigment on your paper when you blend again. Where's my other light green? Add some of it in there. Okay, let's go ahead and blend this out. Well, let me make this line in here just again. Make that line. It'll be fine. If I need to, I can actually add, where'd my purple go? Right here. Just a little bit more of a darker tone in here. Okay, now let's blend this out. Oops, throwing things. Sorry about your ears, guys. Drop my lid. Okay, blending. Blending my dark out first. Okay, I need to make sure I can see. Getting that edge. Just blend out the dark area here first. Got a nice color there. Now let's go ahead. I get cleaned off my brush. And then we're going to go in and kind of blend out some of this green, this lighter green. And some of the highlight too, because I wanted to lighten my green in this area. It wasn't necessarily supposed to be white. Here, that looks pretty good. Now all we got to do is let that dry, and then we'll be able to add another layer to it, and then just kind of make any kind of adjustments that's needed, because you can really see that once it's blended out, you can kind of see some areas that maybe you might need to add a little bit more greens to, or maybe some more of that, maybe some brighter greens, or maybe add a little bit more darker tones to it. That is the time to be able to do it. So I do notice that right in this area, looks like I might need to add some darker shadow to that. It's not dark enough. Wonder if I could do that. I didn't touch it, and we still got 5 minutes. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to add a little bit of my purple, my Derwent Chinese, or not my Derwent Chinese white. Oh my gosh. My nightshade. I'm going to take whatever's left over on my brush here and just kind of, oh, there's actually quite a bit left on my brush. More than what I wanted. Scary. That's just going to remove it. It's like here, I was like, here, let me show you an example of what happens when you put too much on after adding so many layers. Okay, I don't want to touch that anymore. It's got a little bit darker, but I accidentally removed just a little bit off of it that I wanted. All right, So I guess we are good. Is there, if you guys have any questions, I definitely got 3 more minutes left. I can answer any questions that you guys have. And like I said, we'll end up starting another live stream next week. And why did my camera go that crooked? That is so weird. Like this board is crooked. Everything is crooked. Oh well. But yeah, next week we'll do a live stream watercolor. It's always a lot of fun doing watercolor because you can do like, and I can tell you, I mean, I don't work with watercolor like every single day, but I do enjoy working with watercolor. So we'll do something fun, just something easy, just something like more of a looser. I like working looser with watercolors. Unless you're working with the Museum Aquarelle watercolors, those things, those pencils, they're like super, super vibrant. I mean, they are like, they're really nice, very highly pigmented. It almost makes you feel like you're not really working with watercolors, but they are working with watercolors. It's just super, super bright. So, but I like working looser with the watercolors. So we'll do something with that. Who knows? I really like turning watercolors into a mixed media. But anyways, yeah, these oranges are going to be so cute. Let's go ahead and get the little matting and just put it on it and see what it looks like with some of the green stems. There we go. So that's what that's going to look like. That's going to look so pretty. Especially whenever it gets all done. It's going to be super nice. The shadows are really kind of cool. So, I don't know. Just got to get her done. But anyways, I guess if you guys are not on my live stream and you guys have seen this and you're watching it on the replay, just remember you can leave a comment, ask me questions as though it is a live stream. I will still see your comment and I will reply to it as soon as I possibly can whenever I see it. So I guess yeah, remember to hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I think this is pretty much it. Patreon, I will end up doing something for you guys. Like I said, I was doing that St. Patrick's one, but I'm actually thinking about, because it would just be a background, it's airbrushed, thinking about doing something like some tips or something and adding it underneath the acrylic section on Patreon. So that way you guys have like something with tips to be able to help you in creating with or doing something with our acrylic, like even fur. Oh, it's already that time, but I can show you this. Just like doing, look at that, you can't even see anything. Can you even see anything? No. Kind of like working with a bunny. Like I'm still working on this little guy, but this is my little bunny. He's got a lot to be worked on still, but he's an acrylic painting and he is a lot of fun to do. It's got some little light rays kind of heading down toward him. And I'm going to do like a little basket of flowers. So I got the little basket of flowers and they're going to be like all around him. And it's going to be kind of like dark. So this area here is going to be darker. So I'll have to do some work to him. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun painting on him. And that's what I was doing before the live stream. So yeah, it's a cute little painting. He's going to be really cute once he gets done. Little bunny. But anyways, I guess it is time for us to, I guess, end the live stream. Oh, so sad. I never want to end. So I guess until next time, remember, leave like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, share. Any of those things help the channel. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, you guys.